Hey everyone, welcome to the Soul Rehab Project. This is Sarah Saxby, and this is the podcast where we talk about all the ways that we lie to ourselves, the lies that we tell ourselves, and the lies that we have been told. And today I want to talk about it was a comment that I got, and I was talking about whatever it was, how we lie to ourselves or where we're not seeing where we're lying to ourselves. And someone had said, I'm always true to who I am, always. And maybe, who am I to take that away from that person? Fine. But I just wanted to talk about it from how I'm seeing it because, I've had this sort of epiphany about myself lately because I'm still a work in progress and I'm seeing the places where I have caused myself more pain and more stress than necessary because I was trying to push something that wasn't truly for me. So we're going to talk about that. Okay. Because this is good. So I hope this resonates with you. So let me back up because I got everything going on in my head and I just want to get it out. And that's not easy for me. So we're born into this world, and I've talked about this before. And I hope the word sovereign doesn't become like this ridiculous buzzword because it's such a big word that I hope it doesn't become mainstream and ridiculous. But anyway, we're born into this world and we don't even realize that we are sovereign souls, right? Because the minute we're born, we're given a birth certificate and we're made a corporate entity, right? And we're born and we're based on where we're born, who we're born to, the culture, the religion, whatever. It's like there's this mold, this box, this script, right? That's waiting for you when you're born. So there's this illusion of freedom. You believe you're free because you're given the list of items. You're given a menu to choose from, a list of things on how to live your life, right? So for most of us, and I wrote things down again so I don't forget. So most of us, we're given a list when we're born and it says education, career, marriage, kids, retirement. That's the list. This is when you're born, that's what's on the menu. I mean, there may be some people who were lucky enough to be born to parents that didn't fall in line with the system, with the structure, right? But the majority of us are told, right? Education, career, marriage, kids, retire. There's debt and taxes and all that other shit. But so we feel like we're free. We feel like we have freedom because we can choose we can choose those options. So it feels like freedom, but it's a pre-approved list, right? We're choosing from a pre-approved list. And think about it. When it doesn't fit, when those things on the list don't really fit with who you are. Some people, they do. Some people, great. All those things work for you. Great. The majority of people, they don't work for. You know why I know that? Because when you don't fit, when you're a person who doesn't fit into the public education system, you don't learn the same way. And that's the majority of people. What happens? You're told there's something wrong with you. So what do? You get therapy. You get put on medication. You distract yourself more, right? I don't know. If I'm talking about younger people, it's like it's more scrolling or more illusion. There's automatically something wrong with you if you don't fit into the education mold. So you're automatically told there's something wrong. You need to spend your time fitting into it. Or there's something wrong with you. If you don't fit into the career mold, you don't automatically jump right into the hierarchy where you're working in a company and striving to do better and have a bigger car and a bigger house, and there's something wrong with you. What are you doing? You need to get a job. But you're like, but I'm not happy for 50 hours a week. I just dream of being outside of it. Well, what can you do? You need to pay bills. So get a job, right? If marriage isn't a thing for you, there's something wrong with you. Maybe monogamy is not a thing for you. Why is there something wrong with you? I mean, as long as you're honest with people, why is that wrong? So what's wrong when you get married and it wasn't something that you really wanted? You don't know that because it was on the list. So it has to be right for you. Everyone else is doing it. It's on the menu when you were born. I got to choose it. Or there's something wrong with me, right? So you get married because it was on the list of options and you struggle inside of it. So what do? You get therapy, you go on medication, you drink more, you watch more Netflix, you shop more, you vacation more. Because if it's on the list, it must be right for everyone. If marriage isn't working for you, there's something wrong with you. You need to make it work for you, or you're wrong. So you spend your entire life trying to make it fit for you. Because that's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to sign up for one person for the rest of your life. And if you can't, you're wrong. Again, be honest. When you get into relationships, if you're honest and you say, I struggle with it, so I'm just telling you up front, then that person knows. Then they make the decision whether they're with you or not. But we don't do that. So instead, we spend our entire lives trying to fit into a mold, going, something's wrong with me. I don't feel right. Well, that's because you chose from a pre-approved list that's supposed to fit for everyone, right? Same with kids. If you don't want kids, there's something wrong with you. Why? It's not for everyone. It's hard. Some people always knew they wanted them. Some people were like, no. But maybe you meet somebody and they really want kids. So you're like, well, okay. But it wasn't really what you wanted. So you spend the rest of your life trying to be okay with it, medicating, trying to be distracted. But it wasn't right for you. So you lied to yourself when you got into it because you're like, well, I'll figure it out. So when we say we're being true to ourselves, we don't even know what that means because we were lied to from the beginning. We were told that these things are the way you live, period. These are all the right things. And the thing is, people are accomplishing those things, whether they really wanted to or not. They don't know because these things are the only options. So we accomplish these things and we still don't feel good. But if we don't enjoy ourselves in these things, there's something wrong with us. So you get therapy, you get medication, you distract. And what do I want to say? So you're not doing the medication, the therapy, the alcohol, the shopping, whatever you're doing. You're not doing those things to free yourself. You're not trying to free yourself from these things. You're just trying to learn how to endure them. So you're going to therapy, you're on medication, you're drinking more, you're shopping more, you're vacationing more, you're scrolling more, you're posting more. Not because you're trying to free yourself from the script you were given, that you were told is right. It's the only way. You're not trying to free yourself. You're just trying to learn how to endure it. And I have a story of my own when I was married. So the relationships that I was in, I'm such a person that wants to be supported in my freedom. I've always been faithful in my relationships. When I commit myself to someone, I'm thinking about it. I'm like, yeah, for the most part, I really do believe that. I commit and I'm like, well, that's the person I want to be with. So I'm not looking around. But I'm always with people that try to control me. And so that's why I believe it hasn't worked out for me yet, because I always sort of ended up with these kinds of people. But when I was married, I got married and it was a script I was following. It was the next thing that you do, right? I was following along. I did all those things. I was educated. I worked in a hierarchy all my life. I got married, had kids, because this is the menu I was given. And so I thought that it was the right thing to do. And so when I was married, I thought there was something wrong with me because I just wasn't happy. And so I was doing everything in my power to try to become happy within the marriage. Everything you can possibly imagine. I was trying to get diagnosed from my therapist. Just tell me what's wrong with me. Give me a diagnosis so I can then focus on it and go get help for whatever that thing is, because I have no other option. There's no other option for me. I'm married and this is the way it has to be, no matter what. So help me be happier in it. Help me be happier in it. Help me fall in love again. That'd be great, you know? So I was doing all kinds of things. I took medication. I got therapy. I had a psychiatrist, a psychologist. I was like, please just give it a name so that I can fix it. Without a name, I can't do anything about it. I was seeing holistic practitioners. I was like, maybe I can eat something that will make me happier. I'm telling you, I did all kinds of stuff. Nuts. And there was this therapist that we went to mutually. And he said to me, do you think you can come in on your own? I'd like to talk to you by yourself. And we agreed. And so a few days later, I went in to see this guy. And he's kind of just looking at me. And I'm like, what do you got for me? What can I do? I have no other options. I got to stay here. So what can I do? And he said, did you ever think that there was nothing wrong with you? And mind you, I don't mean I'm free from issues. Of course I have issues, but he meant in the context of this marriage and all the things I was trying to fix about myself, right? So he looked at me and said, did you ever think there was nothing wrong with you? I said, no. And he was like, I can see that. And he said, well, I don't think there is anything wrong with you. And I'm like, no. I'm like, it wasn't getting into my brain. And he's like, Sarah, I don't think there's anything wrong with you. I think that the marriage isn't for you. And you know, in movies where the camera's above you and the person and it's looking down and it starts spinning, that's the moment I had. Because I was like, it's just not for me. And I was like, this guy, and I'll always remember him, you know, he gave me a pass and he made me see, like, you're not stuck in there. You're trying to make something work that isn't for you, even though society tells you that's what you need to do. You need to work harder to make it work. But how freaking much harder did I have to work? I was accepting all the problems. I was accepting it. I was saying, it's me. It's me. I know it's me. I know it is. I can fix it. I'm going to fix it. And I remember my son the other day told me that he said something like that he had the willpower to get through something. And I thought to myself, yeah, well, we have a lot of willpower, but why do I have to use so much willpower to make a relationship work that was never going to work? And if I could have chosen to do things differently earlier, I would have, but he could have done things differently too. It was kind of like it was put on me even afterwards. Like, why didn't you end this sooner? Well, why didn't you? But I was always so willing to accept because this is just how it is. So I thought, if I'm being true to myself by trying to fix me, I'm true. The true thing is my relationship. That's true. So I'm going to try to fit into it. We inherit a framework that we believe is the only way. And we spend our entire lives trying to fit into this framework we were told is correct. And if we don't fit into the framework of education, marriage, kids, career, the standard framework, the mold, the script, then we're told there's something wrong with us. So we spend our entire lives trying to fix us. Help me tolerate an 8-to-5 job. Help me tolerate a marriage. Help me tolerate having kids when I really didn't want them. Help me tolerate learning in the public school system. I know there's something wrong with me if I can't learn that way. So help me get better so I can sit and take a test and get A's and be told that I'm great. If we don't see how we have been lied to from the start, we're never going to see how we're lying to ourselves. It's never going to happen. We're going to think that we're being true to ourselves because we don't know where we were lied to from the very beginning. And then you have to be strong enough to step outside of the system. No matter where you live, no matter what your family says, no matter what your religion says, no matter what your culture says, you have to be strong enough to say, well, this doesn't fit for me. And I've spent 10, 20, 30 years trying to make it fit. It took me 52 years to realize that I really love being around outliers. I tried to fit into molds socially. And I realized that I've never really been comfortable with people I thought I was supposed to be around. I feel comfortable with yonballs. I really do. I can be myself around people that are outliers. The people that don't fit into the mainstream people. Those people are the ones I like to be around. I feel so comfortable because they're not being fake and I don't have to be either. It took me forever. But I thought there was something wrong with me if I don't fit in with the masses. And so I'm thinking to myself, maybe I should get therapy to try to fit in or not feel so uncomfortable around people. I'm only uncomfortable around people who aren't being true to themselves. They're also pretending. They're also putting on an act based on what they were told when they were born. You need to have this, this, and this. And I'm not comfortable around that anymore. And then I'm around somebody who's completely different and doesn't fit into the group. And I'm like, I just spent a couple hours with that person, sort of not around anyone else. And I'm like, man, I felt really good. But that's because I was trying to fit into something. I thought something was wrong with me because I didn't fit into the masses. There's nothing wrong. I was trying to fit into somewhere that I didn't belong. Do you see what I'm saying? It's not going to be easy to do that because we're still living in a world that we have one foot in the new structure and one foot in the old structure. A lot of us do. And so it's really hard. But some of us are still standing in that old structure, and it's becoming so shaky, and no one understands why. There's so much more to this, but my point in this podcast is that you were given a menu to choose from, and maybe nothing on the menu was anything you ever wanted. But you were told that's all there is. And if it doesn't feel right to you, there's something wrong with you. So you spend your entire life trying to make it right. Be honest. Is it what you really wanted? Probably not. So let me know what you guys think. Do you see how you were given a menu of items to choose from, told that this was the only way, accomplished them, and now you spend your whole life trying to endure it? Trying to make yourself feel better within the framework, even though what's inside the framework isn't for you. Think about that. Think about that. You may be trying too hard to fit into something that isn't for you, and it's okay that it isn't for you. So my email is sarah@strategiesforhappiness.com. I'd love to hear from you. Comment on this video. Head over to my TikTok, Sarah Saxby, my Instagram, Sarah Saxby72. You can schedule a 90-minute session with me. It's called The Truth Room. I use human design, and it's very intense. I also use my intuition, and I am able to see symbols for people that are really, really, really wanting the truth. I love doing group things, like, doesn't have to be women, but groups of women, like maybe around 8 or so women. You can hire me for speaking engagements. I like to really get into the truth. It's great. I have more interviews coming out on Authority Magazine on a bunch of different things. I talk about authority and people pleasing and stuff like that. So that's cool. But let me know what you guys think. And here's to live in truth.